role taken by a particular organism.
Just came out to the woods. I don't think I hit that note right. There are so many ways I could talk about Cave Story that I'm kind of struggling. Clearly, the last time I said there'd be a video in a week, I think it's been a month. Last time I said The World Ends With You would be in my... Did I say Mike? Would be in like my top 5. Cave Story's in the top 3, maybe the top 2, depending on the day of the week you ask me. I love this game so much. So, instead of trying to talk about how Cave Story uses its story to impact itself in a beautiful way that only video games can do, or instead of talking about the game and the emotions it gives me, I'm going to talk about the emotions themselves. This is like the perfect weather to me. Like it's snowy, and it's like cold out, but the wind's not blowing. It's like just below freezing temperature, so it's not like super cold. It's just cold enough to keep the snow around. The sun's out. Okay, there's a bit of a breeze, but it's not that bad. Cave Story is one of my favorite games for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is that it just kind of changed the trajectory of what I enjoyed. I think this was the first indie game that I played with the real knowledge of what an indie game was. For context, I got this game in 2011. Or at least that's how I remember. I was 18, I got the 3DS in June, but I didn't get Cave Story until September, but it's still like a core. One of the first games I got for the system games. Yeah. I just got my first job. It was construction, so it sucked. The paychecks are big, so I got a 3DS and I needed games, and Cave Story happened to be one of those games. I had no idea of its legacy, reputation, or any of that. The fact that it was a game made by one man in 5 years, and that just changed everything for everyone. No knowledge of that. I just thought it looked interesting, and I was right. After I finished Cave Story and learned of its impact, I started paying attention to indie games a bit more. I had dabbled with a Minecraft back when that was an indie game. And you know, the Super Meat Boy here and there, but like, I didn't really process them as what they were, independent games. Games that could be made with absolute freedom and passion. Video games as an art in their purest form. I wish I had a more fun hat to be wearing. Maybe also wish I had my boots. But it hasn't been too snowy, so I haven't gotten them out. I'm wearing some yellow Converse, and yeah, they might get wet. Two, the other reason why I love Cave Story so much is that it has a world that invites and pulls me in. It's so interesting and vivid and fun and heartbreaking. It's so good. This video was originally all about Cave Story's story, but I was trying not to spoil the story while talking about it. It was just kind of too difficult, but its story doesn't get enough props. Here's the thing though, like there are plenty of things that I've played that have great stories. Plenty of things that I've read and watched that have outstanding things to tell and worlds to get soaked into. Video games just personally get me in a different kind of way. Cave Story is a pretty great piece of art. And with video games, the way of interacting with that art is directly interacting with it. For comparison, a movie and book obviously are able to tell stories that people can engage with, but not directly. They don't require any input from a person to make them happen. Video games do, and they can use that to create impact. I'm not going to spoil anything, but Cave Story has ways of the player's actions really making them feel weighty. A lot of games do that. It's fantastic. Compared to books and movies, triumph and heartbreak in a video game can feel more personal because they are happening due to the player's own actions. Of course, there needs to be like that suspension of disbelief and like an emotional investment, and let me tell you, I get that when I play Cave Story. Do I think I could sit on this long? I want to. Yeah, might get a little wet, but I think I can. I don't know. Look, when I really get into something that I enjoy, be it a book or movie or video game, everything around me ceases to exist. The world I'm in, the people I know, myself even, doesn't matter. For the time where I'm engaging with this, I am locked in and I'm really fully immersing myself. I forget about the things that are bothering me and I forget about anything else. I'm just truly invested in what is going on here. I think that's a beautiful feeling. It's a feeling I really cherish and try to chase after with every piece of art that I get to experience. To believe for a moment that the plight and trials that these people are going through are real, with a healthy, with a healthy sense of reality. I want to make that clear. Like, I know I'm still a person with taxes and bills, but I love getting just soaked into this world and caring about it. I love caring about what's happening. I love trying to make a better ending. I love just getting soaked in and immersed every time I play this game. And let me tell you, Cave Story is not the hardest game, but it does have one pretty notoriously hard, it's not the hardest game, but it gets difficult, and its last challenge is notoriously difficult. Here's the thing, me, not a great gamer. Maybe I'm a pretty good video gamer. I don't like saying gamer. I make fun of gamers. What I'm saying is that I don't really like things that are super duper, triply super duper difficult. And Cave Story's final challenge, if the player seeks it out, is that it's punishingly difficult. And for the most part, I would walk away. I would say, I don't need this. I'm going home. I don't want this. I don't need this. I'm gone. Goodbye. But Cave Story just pulls me in. And because of my emotional connection to this game, to its world, I want to see it through to the end. So I will overcome this final challenge. I've only done it once. And I needed to kind of give myself 2 life pots, which is like, it refills your health. And I didn't cheat. I just gave myself a little extra advantage. It was still difficult. But that good ending is so good. Like, I love Cave Story so much. Cave Story is the indie game of indie games, but I feel like it's not as commonplace as your Undertales or your Stardew Valleys. Why were those plural? There's only one of them. But Cave Story showed a lot of people that they could do it. This was back in 2003 when this game dropped for free, and you are still able to download and play this game for free today. Which I think, even though Cave Story is now a game that can be purchased, the fact that the original version is still up and free for all those who want to experience it, that's incredible. I've said that word several times in this video, but I'll leave a link in the description if you're curious to giving the game a shot. But this game was made by one person in the course of 5 years. And it wasn't like a little bite-sized, it's a game, it's a full adventure, it's a full game. That's incredible. And I can see why it ended up making a lot of people moved and touched. Young artists that could see themselves making a game, that could see themselves doing it themselves. Because this man, Daisuke Amaya, better known as Pixel, showed the world that it's possible. All you need to do is do it. He didn't have like a background in game development. He didn't have a background in music composition. This was a one-man effort. The music, the visuals, the story, the gameplay, the coding, all of it. One guy. And the end work is something that I love and cherish so much. Cave Story is such a beautiful game. I've been struggling with this video, like I did with the last one, because I was like, these will be easy videos to do, but I wanted to do something where I wasn't just gushing, or talking about, but screw it. I love this game. It's when I've said it before, clearly the point's gone across at this point. I love this game. I think people should play it. So I'll just gush. And that's how I'm gonna cap off Niche Appreciation Club 3. I don't know. I was in the winter in the woods. What am I saying here? It's just a lovely little game that I cherish. I'm very grateful that I got to experience it. And I cherish that. And I could stay outside all day, or at least until the sun goes down, but I gotta clean up my apartment. Thank you so much for watching. I don't typically say that. In the videos, but this series of videos took me a while to make, and I'm very happy with Cave Story being the conclusion to all of this. Have a wonderful day, and yeah. Bye. Later. Take care. Am I even in frame?